Welcome to Something to Talk About with Blake, Matt, and Chris. Listen in closely, as they might say something that you don't want to miss. Something to talk about. What are they gonna say? Something to talk about. The show that's created to make your day. Something to talk about with Blake, Matt, and Chris.
Hey, everybody, coming to you live from the brand new podcast studio here in Holy Cross in beautiful Lake Mary Boulevard. This is the new show called What's the Beep? Because we cannot seem to figure out. There is a beep in this brand new podcast studio, and we cannot find the beep.
Who the heck constructed this thing?
I don't know.
Jeez.
So anywho, let's introduce the cast of characters here today. Senior pastor with one of the greatest beards in all of Seminole County. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Matt Wallace.
Why, thank you,
Yes.
Pastor Chris. It's
Yes.
great to be here. Glad
Yes,
you,
and
after your many years of podcasting,
Yes.
it's awesome to finally be invited to be a part of one.
We have never done a podcast together, and we
Never.
thought, Blake got here, and I'll introduce Blake next. Blake, ladies and gentlemen, the youth director of Holy Cross, standing in at about 6'3". Blake Wright, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, there we
That's
go.
great.
That's the right one. That's
I
the right
love
one.
that you get the applause.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot that I turned it off for Matt.
It's all right.
Okay.
But anyway, Blake gets here from Chile, Michigan, and he says we should build a podcast studio and really be able to do. So we've had this built, and this is the very first debut premiere
This is it.
episode. Yeah.
Pretty exciting, guys.
It is exciting. So, of course, I'm Pastor Chris here with you. The show is not called Where's the Beep? The show that the working title right now is Something to Talk About.
Yes.
Let's give them something to talk about.
I knew you were going to sing, Chris. I knew it.
Who sang that song? Anybody?
No idea.
Oh, gosh, I feel
Mariah
like
Carey?
I know, but
No. Let's give them something.
She was like a country
Oh, yeah, it
artist.
was a country.
Shania Twain?
It was not Shania Twain. I think it was kind of a one-hit wonder.
Nelly?
Yeah.
It
Nelly?
was not
Nelly.
Nelly.
Nelly? I think he's country now,
No,
technically.
he just sang
Well, he's
country
got
grammar.
the one song. Yeah.
But I think he just dropped a country album.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's-
new.
That's crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
He's still in the game.
Yeah. Wow. Good
That's
for
something
him.
to talk
You
about.
know?
I just looked it up. Let's give them something to
Okay.
talk about. Bonnie Raitt.
Bonnie Raitt
is the
Ooh.
correct
Oh, I
answer.
knew that.
No idea
Well,
who that is.
nobody got points on that
I
one.
think she was kind of a one-hit wonder. That's probably why you've never heard of it.
Right.
Also because you're like 12.
True.
How old are you?
28.
Wow.
28.
Wow, I've got shoes older than Blake
Yeah.
in my office right now.
Actually, I think I literally do have clothing. I have an old, I kid you not, an Abercrombie and Fitch flannel from the
Ooh,
90s.
Flex, strong flex.
That I still have. Yeah.
Wow.
I think it is actually older than you.
That's crazy.
So we wanted to get together and talk. This first few minutes, we're going to tell some stories. And then, so just so you know, also there's going to be a spiritual component to this as well, where we'll, take something out of Scripture and talk about it a little bit. But I was thinking today, gentlemen, and I didn't give you hardly any prep, so I'm testing
Zero
your
prep.
improvisational skills here today. We've been wrapped up with the Rona.
Yeah.
We've had the Delta. We've had the Omicron.
Yeah. It's
What's the original?
Omicron.
Omicron.
You're throwing that extra N in there like it's a transformer.
Well, I pledged to Omicron. I was in the fraternity there. Matt was as well.
I was as well. Yeah.
And Blake was an initial member of the Delta.
No, I was before Delta. I
You
got
were
the
before?
OG.
Oh, man.
Really?
Alpha.
Yeah, I got
Wow.
Alpha.
He's alpha.
I did
Yeah,
not know
I got
that.
the OG.
So all of us here have had Corona. And with that, I know in the last couple of years, we tended not to do as many things as we're starting to do now. I mean, like now we're invincible, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you shared it with me, a Babylon Bee article that said the CDC now recommends getting 2 vaccines, a booster, and catching coronavirus for your best immunity. And I think
everything.
we have all done that.
Yes, and we've all successfully done that. We could go to. It's a shame that Little 500 closed the
Here.
go-kart
That's
track.
brutal.
Because now we could go there with no fear.
Yeah.
We could go to Fun Spot now, all the places that we joked about. But I will say this. I have done, last night, my family, we all, because of the gracious people here at Holy Cross, Matt and I got some gift cards to go out to eat. And so I took my whole family out to Seasons 52. It's like the first time we've been out as a family to a meal for a long time. But that made me think, I have been going out more. And on Christmas Day, I wanted to surprise my wife. So I got her an upgrade because we had like an iPhone 2, you know? And so we went and I said, for Christmas, I want to give my wife and myself the new iPhones. And you do this thing on the T-Mobile site where you log in and they tell you how much your phone is worth that you have, right?
Yours was what, like $10?
It was like 40.
You had the original iPhone 4, right? With Siri?
That's right.
Or without Siri?
It had Minesweeper on it, you know, so I know that. But anyway, I don't know what that sound was. But anyway, I do the thing and they said, bring your phone in. We'll give you a mercy $50. It's like when you have the junker car. And they're like, we'll give you $100 for it, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
We'll give you something.
yeah, we'll give you something.
We'll
and
just
so,
jack up the price of the other thing to make up for what we're giving you.
100%, that's what it is. We're just taking this off your hand, essentially. So I go to the T-Mobile store just the other day to trade the phone in. They say, drop it off. So I get in there, and they're like, no, man, you got to take this slip and mail it back in, whatever. So I'm kind of frustrated. I walk out, and I see this guy. And he's got a pizza from the pizza place right next to the T-Mobile by Ross. And it's a huge box. And he's got it, and he's carrying it to his car with one hand. And now he's like dancing in the street. And it's really funny. And I'm watching this guy do it. And as he goes to like open the car door, he hits his leg, and the pizza box flips on the ground.
No.
And just like there's pizza all over
Did
the
you go
parking
grab a
lot.
slice?
No, but
That's
it looked
brutal.
like vegetarian pizza, so I didn't. So then he gets in the car and his wife grabs his hat and just starts beating him with the hat. And like he's laughing and she's furious at this point. And I'm like, I missed all of this during COVID, you know? And so immediately afterwards, I go to Target to get cases for our iPhones, you know, because you buy a $700 phone and now you got to buy a $60 case, right?
Yeah, yeah. Or we go to Five Below and buy like a $3 case for our $150 phone.
Do you think that protects the like does the Five Below case really
test
protect
that.
it?
We should test it.
Bring it in. We're going
Who's
to
got
test
insurance?
I have
Who's
one-
got insurance?
Yeah, right here. I have it. Yeah.
That's a $5 case or $3 case.
I've got
Five Below.
I've got a hammer
This is
right
a
here.
Five Below case.
I've got a hammer right here. Let's
Yes,
get one
there
shot.
it
All right, that did not work. I'm sorry.
fully entrusting this tremendous piece of technology to something that
I know.
I got
It's-
at Five Below.
I just love that. Like, you have to buy a case and glass and all this stuff. Anyway, I go there. I get the 2 cases. I see this guy. He's got one of those hand carts. You know, it's like, what do you call it? He's carrying the little basket, the red Target basket with his hand.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got 3 bottles of wine in it, right? And he goes to self-checkout because there's no human being that actually does checkout anymore.
Yeah, they're all gone, man.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
true.
I next time I go to Target and I do a self-checkout, I'm going to say, where do I fill out my W-2? You know, what do I do? Anywho, I'm doing this, and the guy swings his basket. This is right after the pizza drop. The guy swings his basket, hits the register, and all 3 bottles of wine fall to the ground.
Oh my gosh.
And there's just cheap red wine all over the Target floor at this point.
Even worse than the pizza.
So that's what I was going to
Yeah.
ask. What is worse at this point? Because he didn't pay for the wine, right?
True.
And he doesn't get smacked by his wife. And the Target people were so cool. They're like, go get more wine. We'll be fine. We'll pick it up.
Yeah.
But I think the pizza thing is a little bit worse than the wine thing.
Yeah. I had a thing like that happen to me actually. So my wife and I, we enjoy drinking some wine in moderation. usually Chardonnay is kind of our go-to. And but as you guys probably know, but people listening might not know, I am notoriously cheap. And so I always wanted to get like the wine in the box,
Yeah.
because it's so much
box
cheaper.
My
box
wife loves
wine,
it.
right?
My wife loves that. Yeah.
And but my wife is horribly embarrassed anytime that I do that, and so usually she doesn't let me. But one day we were kind of I think we were at Walmart or whatever,
Right.
and I went and I got some. I put it in the basket. We had split up. And so I come back, I meet up with her. She's like, "Oh, you got the box," and she's rolling her eyes at me. And right at that point, we run into two people from church.
Oh man.
And she was so like mortified that I've got this big box of wine in our cart.
That's so-
and then running into people from
Funny
church.
thing is, we looked at their offering, and the next week they jumped their offering by 75%.
That's right.
That
They
is.
said no more box wine.
That's what they
it
wrote in the memo
yeah.
of the check. So that's the joke that we used to. I went into a liquor store one time, and there were a bunch of college kids in there. And I was looking, we were getting ready to host some kind of party. So I'm grabbing wine, and I think I grab like Captain Morgan's or something, rum, and I grab it out of the plastic one. And the college kids come in, and they start like making fun of plastic liquor. Like they're like
the bottles, the
yes,
plastic bottles,
yeah,
yeah.
like squeeze. They called it squeezy bottles, and so they're all like, "Oh man, wouldn't that stink to have to buy squeezies?" And I'm like, right there, the 40-year-old man. But so now my wife calls them squeezies. They
Right,
should just go
yes.
grab a squeezy of something.
Yeah, probably a good time to mention to any new listeners that we are Lutheran.
Yes, yes.
And
Yeah. And we believe in moderation.
yes,
so there you
that
go.
is correct.
Yes.
So Blake, you had a story from COVID.
Yeah.
Post-COVID.
So this happened the other day. Have you guys ever?
What a beautiful
been
voice
a
that
part-
Blake has, by the way.
Thanks.
Listen to
Smooth.
that.
Thanks.
I wish I had a voice like that. Go ahead.
Take it in. Take it in. Have you ever seen or been a part of road rage? Have you ever seen or been a part of it?
Almost daily.
Yeah. See a lot of it, actually.
Okay. Have you ever seen somebody actually physically get out of their car and walk up to another car in the middle of traffic while it is rush hour on the way home?
Wait.
Yeah.
I would say no.
So I never have, not in person. I've seen like YouTube videos and stuff of
Okay.
things like that happening, but I've never seen it in person.
For new listeners, YouTube is an internet channel that you can watch videos on. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So I experienced it for the first time in my life yesterday. 2 days ago. So that would have been Wednesday. No, Tuesday. Anyways,
I mean, not the point.
it was it was the craziest thing. I was on an important phone call with the bank because they messed up one of our checks.
in the car.
In the car, and the next thing you know, in my rearview mirror, I see a car slam on its brakes and this other truck slam on its brakes. And this is in Deltona. And if you know Deltona, you're probably not surprised by this. But then the guy in the little Honda Civic gets out of his car, goes over to the dude in the truck.
Oh, boy.
Starts screaming at him. And then all I hear is honking. And then the next thing you know, they're speeding up to each other and trying to get each other's license. I don't know what they were doing, but they started following each other. But I actually got a little nervous because the car was directly behind me. And so he was tailgating a little bit. They were like getting mad at each other,
boy.
both
Yeah.
lanes.
Did you think they were coming for you for a minute?
Well, I thought that I was going to have to be a hero for a second, I don't have anything on me, but
you can't
I
be a hero.
I had my Yeti cooler cup thing. Could have thrown it at one of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
That I've gotten to the place now where somebody cuts me off, I just give them a thumbs up. I really do. And my kids have seen this. Like the other day, I'm coming off of I-4. Somebody cuts right in front of me. Like I almost have to drive onto the shoulder. And you have two options that point, right? Just let it go or get really angry. And I've just discussed with my kids, I just give everybody a thumbs up. And then people look at you super confused.
Right,
Because
right.
they're not expecting that grace.
Is that
So
grace, really?
Yeah.
Or is
Yeah.
it sarcasm?
No, it's a little sarcastic grace.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of choices you can make. I'm just suggesting next time somebody cuts you off, just give them a thumbs up.
Or a wave. What about a wave?
You
wave that?
can, but that feels more sarcastic.
I give them the head shake. That's what I give this.
Like the dad look. I'm
The
so
disappointed head
disappointed.
shake. Yeah.
I'm so disappointed in you right now with that move. So disappointed. That is
hilarious.
the
Yeah.
worst thing you can get as a child from a parent.
I'm not mad so much as I'm disappointed.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. But that means you're mad. I mean, I'm not a dad, so you guys can tell me that still means you're mad, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, of course. It's
some-
a passive aggressive way to say, I'm really mad at you. But you turn it around into guilt, and then you make your child feel miserable.
Right.
Also, listen to for more hacks on our new parenting podcast coming up called Matt and Chris. Passive aggressive
Guilt 'em.
techniques
Guilt
to
'em.
get your guilt them. The new podcast is called Guilt Them. we're a religion that is trying to get people free from guilt here, and grace and faith, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's right.
So did you have something?
Well, I told my box wine story.
Oh yeah,
Was
the
that
box
not
wine.
good
Oh no,
enough
no,
for
no,
you?
no, 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 no! I thought I listen. A box wine. I never. Don't be shamed from the box wine.
No, post COVID. I mean, are we post COVID? I don't really think we
so.
are.
Yeah,
We're
by the
still in
time
it.
this podcast gets on, we will.
I mean, I think we're over it, but I don't think it's done. But yeah, we did a family vacay. We did a drive.
And that's where you got the COVID.
Yeah, that's probably. Who knows? But yeah, we did that. That's the first time we've done that. We went to see a movie in the theater.
What?
For the first time
They still do that?
since before COVID.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize they still did that.
Yeah, Spider-Man
So, you
No
wanna
Way
know-
Home, by the way, which I am not going to spoil for anyone, but I will highly recommend.
I'm going to somewhat interrupt. So when I first got here back in June, Matt actually said that he probably was never going to go to a movie theater ever again to watch a movie.
So
Yeah, here he is.
Okay.
Going to a movie theater.
Guys, I'm not paying $17 for a popcorn when I can sit on my couch.
That's exactly what he said.
Jeez, guys,
And he
what?
can eat what he wants.
I
and
can
drink what he
stream. I don't
wants.
have to
That's it.
see people.
Okay, so you're not wrong. That is absolutely true. I do generally much prefer to sit at home and in the comfort of
Yeah.
my own home and watch movies.
Exactly.
And especially now that they're releasing so many of them, you don't have to wait. It's simultaneous. But this one drew me out. So Spider-Man drew me out, and I will say, even though you're not wrong again about the other stuff, definitely was worth it. Yeah,
You know what? I'll just bring my own popcorn.
Really good.
And my hoodie. I'll just put it right in my hoodie. I don't know. I know that sounds nothing like you, but I'm working on my impression.
Is that your
my
Rush
bad.
Limbaugh? Is that your?
But he did clearly say about a year ago, you pay $17 for popcorn. By the time you leave there, it's a car payment.
I will say though, the price of tickets, because I went to the movie theater too. I went to a matinee, and it was only like $7.50.
Yeah, they haven't gone up in a while.
Yeah.
so-
Right, because nobody's going. It's like
that's
supply
true.
and demand at this point. Nobody's going to movies.
That's true. Everybody's staying at home like Matt, right?
So somebody said his
As much as possible.
His love language is physical distance.
That's right.
That's what I always say about Pastor Matt. Mine is words of affection, and Matt's is physical distance and gift cards. That's
Yeah.
his love language.
And gift cards.
And
Yeah,
gift cards.
love the gift cards.
He does more than the distance.
Yes.
Because anywho, my buddy took his kid to Spider-Man and saw it in 4D.
Oh.
He said
40? What is 40?
4D is like,
Is that where the seats shake
yeah,
and
yeah.
all that? Yeah.
So I said, is that because nobody's going to the movie and you have your own personal person that comes up and shakes the seat at that point, or what? But no, apparently
They pay a high school kid to rock your seat
get in
back
there and
and
kick
forth.
the seat.
Why is this guy standing behind me?
Well, that's why it's $42 for popcorn. But he said it was really cool. Like there was smells, there was like wind that would like blow in your face.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I think they're trying to figure out, because think about it this way. Now, if you're Blake, you got a 300-inch TV at your house or
Yep.
whatever. Like what can the movie theater do now to make it a
Nothing.
different experience than your house, right?
Yeah, it's hard for them to compete, I'm sure.
Absolutely. All right.
They have to make it like Soarin' at Disney. That's what I thought of when you said the smells and everything in your face.
I do have a question for you.
Okay.
Will you go back to the theme parks anytime soon?
I probably won't.
And you're a big
gonna
Disney
wait.
guy.
I am. I mean, part of it's because, well, I should say this. Our friend just got her job back there, so that's
Now
why we
you
get
have free
tickets.
passes.
Yeah, but I don't think I would pay for it. I've paid for it once. I don't think I'd pay for it right now because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think you still have to wear a mask while you're there.
Yeah, and you got to check in, I think, too, and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was a few months ago,
certain-
but we actually did go back since COVID.
Where'd you go?
And so we did Galaxy's Edge, or what?
Oh,
what is
the
that?
Star Wars one.
Yeah, the Star
Oh,
Wars one.
right,
what,
right.
what park is that in?
That's Hollywood Studios. Yeah. I want to see that. That's the only thing I want to see.
So it was very cool, but also I wouldn't really want to go back right now. I'll warn you guys against going because they had everything so tightly regulated. Like
Yeah.
you had to stand in line for everything, even food. They wouldn't let you in to the places. They'd only let so many people in at a time, and we were hardly able to see anything. So they had like a raffle to go. Well, you could walk around in Galaxy's Edge. That wasn't a big deal. But like to go on the big experience, the Star
like
Wars
the Millennium
experience
Falcon or whatever?
Well, that's a different one. But to do the whole like experience thing, like you always see the clips on the internet or whatever.
Is that the Rise of the Resistance or whatever?
Yes, that's it. Yeah. So it was like a lottery, and that twice a day you had to like log on and try to get it.
Oh, gee.
We tried in the morning, didn't even get in at all. And then the second time we were in like the third, we were like 152 in the third like wait list.
Oh my.
And so we couldn't even get in. Like we were there the whole day. We couldn't get in. And then we probably could have gotten into the Millennium Falcon one, but the wait was over 2 hours.
Wow. So there goes our chance at a potential sponsorship with Disney.
Yeah. Dang it.
See you later.
That's right.
Thank you. We are actually angling for SeaWorld. So if anybody from SeaWorld's listening.
Hey, they got a new roller coaster coming out.
I know.
Oh, I actually love
pretty cool.
SeaWorld.
Yeah, we have
used to go all the
passes
time.
to that. But my son doesn't like the roller coasters and my daughter does. So it's like, that's a tough one. So I don't know.
The shows are good.
You're a big show guy, are you?
Oh, I love the SeaWorld shows. I do. Yeah.
I don't know why that cracked me up.
Huge show guy.
Okay, so we are going to talk a little bit about Scripture today as well. And one of the things that I wanted to bring up, are you bemoaning Scripture, youth director?
I meant like the fun part's over.
Yeah, no,
I
come
guess we
on,
gotta
come
do
on,
work
this is
now.
fun.
Darn it.
No, this is the fun part. Golly. And so today, Blake and I teach over at the Holy Cross, the school, and we are teaching freshmen and sophomores. And I don't know where can they hear that beep out there?
I don't know.
There is a
We're
beep
gonna,
going
I guess
on.
we're gonna find out.
It's like the smoke detector in your house, like
that needs a new battery.
at 3 a.m. in the morning. Yes, that's what it is. But anyway, I was talking about the story. We were talking about Exodus today, and we were talking about Moses, the story of Moses in Exodus, and how when Pharaoh he realized that there were so many Israelites, he says, we're going to take out all the children of Israel, right? And Moses' mom puts baby Moses, makes this, there's no Hobby Lobbies back then, Blake. I don't know if you're aware of this, but
I didn't know that.
you couldn't go to Target, you couldn't go to Hobby Lobby, you
What
couldn't
about
go to
Walmart? Was Walmart
there?
there?
Was Walmart
Okay,
there,
that's what I
back there,
thought.
but it was such a journey that you just built your own stuff. But so she builds this basket, weaves it together, puts tar in it, and then throws baby Moses in. I mean, probably gently puts baby Moses.
What's this picture you're painting?
Yeah, this is
Chris?
and
a
then
little different.
and then puts baby Moses in the Nile River. And I was thinking to myself, this is really, and I apologize to anybody that are like Joel Osteen fans out there, but I was thinking to myself, this is really not living your best life now at this point. You are putting your baby in a tar basket, and this is your best option at this point.
Yeah.
Number one.
Hey, and you're floating baby Moses down the Nile River. And then the story, of course, goes that Pharaoh's daughter finds miraculously finds baby Moses. He's brought into the story. But I was just thinking about that because I see so many, and I love positivity, don't get me wrong, but I see so many posts out there about living your best life now. And we want people to do that. But the reality is there's times in our life where we're going to be hit with rough stuff. And I don't want to be like Job's friends, right? What did you do wrong to deserve this?
You must have done something.
Tell
right?
us
This
what you
doesn't
did wrong.
happen
Just
for
repent.
No reason.
Right. And so I was thinking about that today as I was reading through that this mom is in this most desperate situation and does the unthinkable. And it ends up panning out very well because then the daughter of Pharaoh goes and finds Moses' mom, and she becomes his wet nurse, and he's allowed to kind of live, and everything's going well until he walks outside and sees the Egyptian beat the Israelite slave, and then he kills him.
Yeah. It's similar to the story of Joseph,
Totally, yeah.
Where, he's sold into slavery
Right.
and then gets taken to, Egypt once again, by the way, a lot of Egypt tie-ins.
Right.
And, then eventually he says, you meant it for evil, but God meant it for good.
I know. And so we read that in class the other day, and I asked all the kids, I said, so if you're Joseph and your family comes back during the famine and they're begging you, after they just sold you for the equivalent of $126, today's cash, that's what they sold him for, $126. And now you see them coming back begging. Like, how hard would that be to not hold a grudge right there?
Oh, yeah.
Real, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you guys left me for dead. You sold me as a slave, and now you're asking for food?
Yeah. I was thinking about, obviously, again, like we're not trying to call out anyone
No,
specifically,
no.
but the living your best life now,
Yeah.
that idea. And, I think the thing about that's interesting is because there is a sense in which it's true.
Sure.
But it all depends on how you define your best life.
Sure.
It doesn't mean that you're going to have, the way I always like to put it, it doesn't mean you're always going to be healthy, wealthy, and good looking. You know what I mean? That's not what living your best life
Right.
in Christ means.
I mean, you've got two of those things, right?
Yeah. And my health is terrible right now.
Right.
So,
Is that what it was? I thought it was beauty. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But we do, you can say you're going to have peace. You're going to have a new and renewed life in Christ. You're going to find, love and compassion and things like that. That's living your best life. It's not having the biggest house and the biggest car. It doesn't mean you're never going to face challenges. Jesus promises we're going to face persecution, that we're going to, face difficult times. And so, it's all in how you mean it, really,
guess,
when you
yeah.
say it.
But aren't you living your best life when you're living it with Christ? Come on, guys.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you're
Come
kind of.
on.
I know you're kind of joking, but that is true. Like
Right.
you are living your best life when you're living with Christ.
Right.
But again, what that
Doesn't
looks
mean that
like,
everything-
that
right,
doesn't mean
right.
mansions and Bentleys.
Yeah. It's funny. So one of my favorite musical artists, Ben Rector, he just came out with a new album, and one of the songs on there is titled "Living My Best Life," and it's pretty cool. But I don't know. My father-in-law hates that saying. He's like, I hate when people say they're living their best life, because at the end of the day, there's going to be something that's going to tick you off somewhere, and there's going to be something
Just
that
give it a thumbs up.
is an inconvenience somewhere. Give it a
Right.
Just give it a thumbs up.
thumbs up
Keep
emoji.
rolling.
Yeah.
Keep
I
on
saw
trucking.
a meme the other day, and again, one of you might have shared it with me. I can't remember where I saw it, but it said the only way you're living your best life right now is if you're going to hell when you die.
I mean,
That's
I
interesting.
sent that to you because it was kind of a joke, but I'm like, then I thought about it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, oof, that's a deep cut.
For
Yeah.
real. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what I think about, though, with the story of Moses and what you're sharing, though, is just the faithfulness of his mom to do that, to throw him in a basket and send him off in the river not knowing what's going to happen.
God didn't tell her to do that, right? Like
He did not tell her to do that, but I believe she had kind of received some
A word,
prophecy,
right?
a word
Yeah.
that Moses was going to be
great.
something special. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That's just crazy that I don't know. I don't have kids yet, but I won't throw my dog in a basket.
Right.
Would you throw your kids in a basket?
You know
I
what?
throw-
Let's just stop right there.
My kid is
Here's the thing,
17
though.
right now. I
People-
probably
People
would.
with
No.
no kids always equate their dog to having a kid. Let me tell you something. Do you ever have to help your dog
I don't
with
even wanna
homework
look at
that you
you.
don't understand? Do you ever have just stop it
I
right
have
now?
to spend time training them.
Oh,
I
get
feed
out of town.
them. I pick up their poo.
Well, I don't do that with my kids. So.
As both a dog owner and a parent, I will say dogs are much easier than children.
Yeah.
But,
Good to know. Good to know.
I'm joking with you, of course, but I do know people that treat their dogs like their
They
kids.
do. Yeah.
Right.
And you gotta stop. Just that's my thing. You gotta stop.
You don't treat little Moosh like he's a kid? Come on.
No. Let's just do a round of let's do one round to close this podcast of you gotta stop. I say the final segment of today's show is you gotta stop. You gotta stop treating your dogs like your kids, okay? Pastor Chris loves you, but stop it. Go ahead.
I'm probably going to offend some people with this, but just as a Christian pastor that loves my fellow Christians, I got to say, guys, stop saying "Let's go, Brandon." Look, I don't care about your politics. Think whatever you want, but I just find that to be a little inconsistent with how we're supposed to be living life as Christians. And if it was ever funny at all, it was only funny for about the first 30 seconds, and now it's just kind of old. And also, we all know what you really mean.
Right. And you wouldn't say that about other people in public or on Facebook. Stop it.
Yeah,
all right.
right,
So
true.
stop treating your animals like, or stop treating your pets like they're your kids. Stop saying, "Let's go, Brandon." And Blake, what do you have?
Gosh, okay. So this actually, I didn't notice it was as big of a deal up north as it is down here. But people, return the cart to the cart.
Oh, yeah,
You
that's
got
a
to
good
stop
one.
just putting it in front of your cart or hitting somebody else's car.
Stop it.
Yeah.
You got to return it. Come on.
You got to return your cards. All right, everybody. We have been with you for 30 minutes and 42 seconds, which is about 20 minutes longer than we thought. So thank you for joining us on the very first episode of Something to Talk About with Blake, Chris, and Matt. We will be trying to do this once a week and getting it out. Eventually, this might even be a video podcast. We'll see. And now let's end with some musical stylings by Blake.
Is he going to beatbox now?
That's right.